Welcome to Pioneer Movie Preview. I'm Jeiel.
And I'm Grayson. Today our film is Revenge of the Sith.
Yep, as he said, our movie review is Episode 3, Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith. I'm not really even sure where to start with this movie. Firstly, let's go with the stars of the cast. Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Samuel Jackson, Natalie Portman, just to name a few. And many more. You know, if I really was to go through like the whole cast list, I'd be here for like an hour, literally.
It's a massive movie.
Freaking huge movie, dude. So many different people. Just awesome on a star level.
Need a galaxy worth of people for a galaxy far, far away. You know what I'm saying?
Was that funny?
I'm sorry.
Firstly, this movie isn't simply about. This movie isn't just a movie. It's a breakdown of a whole universe. It's about politics, philosophy, war, many different things, man. Like, it isn't just an action movie, a fantasy movie or whatever. It's not like Lord of the Rings. It's not like your typical Harry Potter. It's just like a collision course of many different things, smashed into only 2 hours and like 13 minutes, I think, is the runtime of the movie.
It's an opera that spans the end of an era as well as an end of a prophecy.
Literally, the chosen one, the one who was supposed to save the Jedi, ended up tearing it down limb from limb, which he lost.
Every limb, really.
Let's see. I'm reading notes, so I'm sorry if I'm looking down. We have the Clone Wars going on. Senator Palpatine manipulating the entire Jedi Order and the High Council. We have Anakin getting manipulated by Palpatine, and on Anakin, he having his internal conflict. Choosing whether he wants to lose his wife, who he had a premonition of her dying, or whether to save the Order that he was sworn to protect. It's just I don't think you could get an actor who could have played like a better role of a man who's so internally conflicted.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen.
Literally,
man. Like people insult him because of George Lucas's writing, but you have to think about it. Anakin went from like a Jedi to a Sith in the span of a single movie.
Literally. Like there were obviously glimpses here and there of his dark side, of his willingness to do whatever it takes, or by whatever means, to accomplish his mission, his goal. For example, when later in this movie, he goes against Dooku on the plane to save Palpatine, right? On this little cruiser that the Separatists took him on. He battles Dooku, was going to spare his life, but Palpatine encouraged him, pushed him, do it. That's where that comes from, do it. He told Anakin to do it, and he did it. If Anakin was going by what he was trained for, what he was taught, he would have spared Dooku, which probably wouldn't have pushed him more towards the dark side. Sorry. I don't think like it's just unfortunate for how long Star Wars fans of the old times hated on his performance so bad, to the point where he didn't want to attend conferences, they didn't want to go to no conventions, nothing like that, because of how hated his performance was in that movie. And I just think it's too harsh on him.
It's way too harsh. It's just the decisions by George Lucas that kind of invoked that. But it wasn't really George Lucas's fault either, because George Lucas was surrounded by yes men at that time. Because of the success of the original Star Wars trilogy, he was like, what about Jar Jar Binks? And people said, yes, let's do that, even though everybody hates Jar Jar Binks. Like, no matter what, just Misa, like, nobody likes that, man. And it's just a shame, because after the sequel trilogy came out, now everybody's like, oh, this is so much better than the absolute slop that Disney is pumping out.
I just think that entire like prequel trilogy from episode 1, I'm not gonna lie, bro, that movie was buns.
Phantom Menace?
Yeah. But besides like maybe Darth Maul's
scenes were
like,
so
that movie
good.
was complete buns, bro. Like,
yeah, I didn't really like the pod racing stuff.
I just thought that was
This is pod racing.
Like, sure, it was cool to see Tatooine at the time, and obviously seeing Anakin and his mom. But I don't know, dude. I just couldn't get into that movie. And bro, episode 2, oh my god, bro. Like you said, Jar Jar.
Them going to Camino to see the clones.
I was so
being
tired of that
made.
movie, bro. That movie was making me sick to my stomach.
It was the Attack of the Clones, right? They went over the Battle of Geonosis.
Yeah.
And it was basically setting up the whole of the Clone Wars, because it was them going to see the clones getting made on Camino. And what else? That movie was when Anakin was grown up, and it was his first time on the battlefield, and so we could kind of see the inflections of Anakin, like being this angsty child and not knowing how to control his emotions. And because spoilers, Qui-Gon was killed in the first movie. Qui-Gon Jinn was supposed to be his dad, father figure, but because he was killed by Darth Maul, now Obi-Wan has to stand in for him, and he can't do that. He kind of has to just be a brother for him.
The only reason I think that the prequel trilogy was so hated, especially at the time, was due to the fact that it's not like the sequel or the original trilogy was like completely lighthearted and all that stuff. It was more the fact that nobody was expecting Star Wars to go such a dark tone.
Oh yeah, towards like the political sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the original trilogy was like the hero's journey, but then the prequels are very convoluted.
Yeah. Like it.
But it certainly did not take a lighthearted tone.
No.
Like there were lighthearted things like the Ewoks and stuff, but like that scene whenever Luke first gets his lightsaber and guts that dude in the bar.
Yeah.
When he activates
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And also, can we just appreciate the choreography in the prequels?
Dude.
Like people will hate on Anakin and Obi-Wan for like that kind of like dancing style, but I loved it. It's so good.
There's been nothing better, like, fight choreography wise in that universe. Unless you want to talk about the TV shows, but I really don't feel like getting into those. But in those movies, fire.
Yeah, I mean, they went more for a dancing style of choreography, which most people like nowadays. They like the ch-ch-ch-ch. But I enjoyed the kind of like realistic sword fighting in the originals.
Yeah.
You know, whenever Luke and Vader are fighting on Bespin.
I completely agree with that. It's unfortunate and all that stuff. The movies are fire.
Yeah, it's really good. You should check it out. And
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Jeiel.
I'm Grayson.
And this is all the time we had. This is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. See you guys later. Peace.
See ya.
Let's go home.